श्री गणेशाय नमः। ॐ श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीं। नमोऽस्तुते व्यासविशालबुद्धे फुल्लारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयप्रदीपः प्रपन्नपारिजाताय स्तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दोग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्ससुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत्। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। हरि ओम। We will begin by chanting the name of Bhagavan, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Everyone please do join in. I will chant and everyone please repeat. Okay? Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Shri Krishna Sharanam
Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna 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 Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Kanhaiya Lal ki Jai. Okay, Hari Om everybody. Can you all hear me okay? Yes? Okay. We are studying Bhagavad Gita chapter 6. As Panditji had mentioned, we've been seeing verses of Bhagavad Gita every night at different mandirs since the middle of January. And we have now reached chapter 6. Chapter 6 is the chapter on meditation. And the meditation that is there in the Bhagavad Gita is different from the meditation that we find out in the world. If someone goes for a meditation class outside, which I'm sure everyone has heard of or heard of people doing in some way or form, what that does is when the person comes back, they get maybe a couple of hours of peace of mind. You know, they feel less stressed, they feel more relaxed. That is what the meditation does to help them. How long does that last? Well, it depends. It could last a couple of hours if you're lucky. But if your family catches on to the fact that when you go for your meditation class and you come home, you're relaxed, you're happy, you're peaceful, well, that is the time they have their wish list ready. You know, because they know mom or dad is not going to get angry with me if I ask them this question now. So you have come back and you're now finally relaxed after a long week of not being relaxed. And they've made a line of who gets to ask mom first what they want. They fight with each other also, you know. No, let me ask first, because by the time she reaches me, she'll be frustrated again. So, really speaking, what we do in the world when we try to go for meditation is we try to get a little bit of stress management, a little bit of peace that will last us a little while to keep us going again. But the meditation of Bhagavad Gita is completely different. First of all, it's free. There's no charge. That is a big difference. And the other thing is that after this meditation is done well, you do not go back to the problems that you came with. The last verse we saw last night, Bhagavan Shri Krishna said, Atma Vishuddhaye. We do meditation for purity of mind. Purity of mind means all of the agitations and the frustrations and the thoughts that bother my mind and the thoughts that disturb me, they all go away. But not only that, in the final stages of meditation, even the thought that is making me feel I am limited, the thought that makes me feel I am unhappy, the thought that makes me feel I am different and separate from everyone in this universe, every single possible thought that could obstruct the fact that I am happiness, it goes away in meditation. And all that is left is the happiness that I am at the end of it. This is the great goal that is gotten by the meditation that is talked about in Bhagavad Gita. Now, for this great goal, a lot of preparation is required. So you will see in the verses in this chapter, a lot of time is spent in preparation for meditation. And the interesting thing is, sometimes it feels so long that you wonder, is this meditation ever going to start, or is Bhagavan only ever going to talk preparation? But preparation we're used to that in life, isn't it? When you have to prepare food and you have to eat, how much time does it take to eat a plate of food? I mean, if you're a slow eater, maybe 15 minutes. If you're a normal eater, maybe 10. If you're a fast eater, maybe 2. Depending, how fast or slow you eat. But say, within 15 minutes, your food is finished. True or false? How long did it take to prepare that food? Well, it depends on what was cooked. Some things, they could be cooking all day. Like if you have to peel, what is it called? Katahar. Man, you'd rather not eat it. Sometimes it takes so long to peel that thing. So you're there and you're cooking, you're preparing all day. You have to go, you have to get it, you have to prepare it, you have to clean it, you have to cook it. Then you have to wash the dishes, then the gas will finish in the middle, then you have to get a next gas and change it. And on and on and all of these things, and then in 5 minutes you're done eating. So preparation takes so much time. And the result is enjoyed very quickly. In the exact same way, there's a lot of preparation that we do for meditation, but once that preparation is done well, it very quickly happens. So the whole effort is in preparation. Now there's 2 types of preparation. The first type of preparation is what is done actually when you sit to meditate. Bhagavan was saying, you make sure the place is clean and you have a seat that is not too hard, not too soft. You don't sit too high, you don't sit too low. He gives a whole list of things that you do just when you're going to sit for meditation. But in the preparation, there is also a long list of things that have to be done before we sit for meditation. Like the whole day. And for days and days and days before we meditate. Right? How come, wouldn't it be just nice if I could sit in meditation and not worry about preparing for it all day? I have 15 minutes free, 5 minutes I'll prepare and 10 minutes I'll meditate and I'm set. It doesn't work like that. Because, and this is why it doesn't work, it is the same mind that we use throughout the whole day that we're going to take when we sit in meditation. The same mind. Now, like when they're playing cricket, in like test matches, they'll have every 70 or 80 overs or something, they'll change the ball, right? Or if it's a T20, then every 20 overs, you'll get a new ball. So you just put a new ball and you move on. Or when you come back from work and you have to go to the kitchen, well, you just take out your work clothes and you put on some kitchen dress that could get stained, and you go to the kitchen and you cook, and when you're done, you put back your nice clothes and you're good to go. If only the mind was like that, I have one mind that will go and get angry and frustrated and do all these things in the world, and then I'll come home and then I'll switch that mind out and I'll put my meditation mind in and I will sit calmly for meditation. But it doesn't work like that, because it is the same mind that we use in the world that we use to meditate also. And therefore, when that mind gets frustrated and angry and irritated or super excited or whatever it is when it is out there in the world, it is very hard now to bring that mind to sit and meditate as we're being asked to do. Right? Because any heavy emotion that will impact our mind will impact our meditation, whether it is positive or negative. So now just imagine this, right? If I am told something has happened and I have to wear this white sari all day, and I have to wear the same sari and come to satsang, right? So I have to go to the kitchen and wash the dishes and cook the food, and I have to take care of the house and all of that with this sari, and then I have to bathe and iron it and wear the same sari and come to satsang. You tell me, will my interaction in the kitchen be different than if I was wearing my house clothes? Well, of course. I mean, if I see somebody standing there and washing the dishes, and they're washing it in such a way that the dirty water and soap is flying everywhere. You know how some people, they wash dishes like they're washing the whole kitchen? So someone is washing dishes there like that. I'm not going to go near that person at that time. Or if someone is just about to put dye in the oil, you know, by the fire. Well, I'm not taking this sari and going there. No way. Right? Now say I have to be the one who has to cook. Well, I will find an apron. And if I don't have an apron, I will find some cloth that I can use as a bib or something. So that when that thing sprays, which it will not come on my sari. Because I know how hard it is to take out oil and yellow stains from a white sari. True or false? Okay. It is easier to prevent it than to clean it. Now you take this to our mind. That same mind that I'm using in meditation, I'm going to take it and go out in the world now. If I know that when I sit in meditation, I want my mind to be calm, my mind to be attentive, my mind to be peaceful, why will I go and interact in the world in such a way to make it frustrated and angry and irritated and all of these things the way I do, for me to now come and use that mind to try to remove those things before I try to meditate? That thing feels counterproductive, right? So Bhagavan is saying, well, you prepare the mind for meditation by living your whole day in such a way that when you sit for meditation, your mind is not going to cause trouble for you. This is why all the preparation for meditation is so important. So we will see different types of preparation that will be coming in the verses today. Some are immediately when we sit for meditation, and some are things we have to do all day. Right? So let us chant verse. We're now going to pick back from verse 13 in chapter 6. So we'll chant 13 and 14 together. Again, I will chant Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, and then you will repeat, and I'll chant the verse, and you will chant Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Okay? And I want to hear everybody. The last time I couldn't hear. I don't know if you have superpowers to chant silently under your breath and all of that, but it will be nice if we all chant together. You know, that's the nice thing when we come together, we get to chant together also. Okay. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Samprekshya nasikagram svam dishashchanavalokayan.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Sharanam Mama.
प्रशान्तात्मविगतभिः ब्रह्मचारी व्रते स्थितः
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
मनसंयम्य मच्चित्तः युक्त आसीत मत्परः
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Samam Kaya Shiro Grivam. Bhagavan Shri Krishna says we have to keep our body, our head, and our neck in a straight line. Means our spine, our neck, and our head should all be in a straight line. The way we sit, it's like I was trying to learn some Guyanese. Like we back nagya bone. That correct? Like this. When we sit for meditation, we're supposed to sit such that, well, you know when you say your spine, your head, and your neck have to be in a straight line? Well, some teenager might come and say, well, I could lie down and meditate. It's in a straight line at that time. No, Bhagavan is talking about straight like a right angle. Not any wrong angle. Means obtuse or acute angle. Straight, right angle is how we're supposed to sit. So whether we sit, if you're able to sit on the floor with your legs crossed, then you have a firm base and you can keep your back nice and straight. But if you can't, then you sit on a chair and you keep your back straight. But the straightness of the back allows us to forget that our body is giving us any issues actually, right? And it is what allows us to breathe properly in meditation as well. So that's the first thing. When you sit in meditation, you sit straight. Then, dharayan nachalam sthiraha. Then you hold this body now in this position firmly and with no movement. That means when we sit for meditation, for at minimum 20 minutes, our body is not supposed to move even a micrometer, like at all. We're not supposed to move our hand a little bit. We're not supposed to move our eyeballs. We're not supposed to move anything for the time that we are meditating. And it doesn't mean we have to have you watched children pretend that they're sleeping? When I was growing up, I used to have a real hard time falling asleep. And I think my parents knew that. So they would come to check on me to make sure I was sleeping. And as I would hear their footsteps, because we had bedtime, 7:38 when you're very little, you go to bed. Then after I don't know how long, I would hear footsteps. I knew they were coming. So then I would close my eyes really tight and be like this and wait, for them to come. And I thought, okay, they're going to think I'm sleeping. It is only after some years when I saw another child doing that I realized, oh, they knew I wasn't sleeping. But you don't hold yourself tight like that so your arm muscles are locked and all of that. In meditation, we're supposed to be relaxed, right? Okay. Then, the point is, any movement that happens is going to bring us back to body consciousness. But we're trying to forget that this body is there. We're trying to focus on our mind when we're meditating. So that's the instruction. Then, samprekshya nasikagram swam. Then we're supposed to look at our own nose. Have you seen your own nose before? You try to look at your nose. Bhagavan Adi Shankaracharya, who's commenting, he explains, no, you look at your nose as though. Meaning, you know how little children, when you get them from playing and they finally come, you can't let them just come and sit here and do nothing. You have to give them something to do. So the mind also, when you collect it, you have to give it something to do. So you tell the mind, okay, you focus on the tip of your nose, as though. If you actually try to focus on the tip of your nose, your eyes will hurt, right? So it's like the center, you try to bring your attention to your center. That is the point. If you focus on your nose, you will not be meditating. You will be thinking of nose. And that's not the point. So, Bhagavan also says, Swam, my own nose. I'm not supposed to be studying somebody else's nose in my meditation. He actually says that. He's really funny, you know. Your own nose. Then, Dishascha anavalokayan. And we're not supposed to look in any direction. Means our eyes are supposed to be closed and all of our senses are supposed to be withdrawn. We talked about that last week. Our Gurudev Swami Chinmayananda, he says basically all of this is you close your eyes softly and you sit straight. Right? And then how do you know if you're doing this correctly? You know you are doing this correctly if you forget about your body. That is the test of if I'm sitting properly. Yesterday I gave the example, how do you know if your shoes are right for you? Well, if you wear them and you don't feel them anymore, then they're right. Because if they're too tight, you'll feel them. And if they're too loose, you will feel them also. But when they're just right, you forget you're wearing them. So in the same way, if we follow these instructions well, then we will forget that we're sitting. So we can focus on something else. Now, all of these things that Bhagavan is describing, they're really not a prescription. Today I didn't focus on the tip of my nose, you know. They're a suggestion to help us. The whole thing is sit so that your mind can be the thing that we're focused on. Now Bhagavan talks about inner adjustments and preparations. Number 1, Prashant Atma. Prashant Atma is one whose mind is calm and peaceful. Actually, it is only when our mind is calm and peaceful that we can meditate, you know. So there's a right time, there's a right place, there's a right seat, there's a right posture, there's a right way to breathe. All of that is there. But still, you'll do all of that and then you'll sit. And as soon as you sit and you close your eyes, your mind will say, oh God, yesterday I was supposed to send an email to that person and I forgot. How am I going to remember after meditation? Then you say, okay, I'm going to try to remember. Then after 10 seconds again, oh my God, I didn't respond to that text. Then after 20 seconds, oh my God, I don't remember if I bought the tomatoes for lunch. And on and on. Is this an experience that you've all had before? In some way, shape or form? You sit, as soon as the mind has nothing to do, it brings up all kinds of thoughts. So here's a tip. I call it a brain dump. You take up, this is a challenge now, right? Before you meditate. You take a paper and you take a pen. And you set a timer for like 5 minutes. And you tell yourself, until this timer goes off, I am not allowed to stop writing all the thoughts that come in my mind. Every single thought that comes in your mind, you write it down. And if the thought stops, you force your mind to keep thinking. What happens is all the possible things that it could think in meditation, it thinks it before. Then you tell your mind, look, now you had your chance, you thought all these things, now you be quiet and you sit. Right? You had your chance, now after meditation you'll get your chance again. So for that 5 minutes, you let your mind just think whatever it wants and you write it all down. Now say after 5 minutes, your mind is still thinking 100 things. Then you put 2 more minutes and you keep going. Eventually your mind, how many thoughts will you have? Eventually your mind will become quiet. Okay, I can't think of anything else to do. When you feel like you have so many things to do in the day and you sit down and you start to make your list, eventually you're like, is there anything else we're missing? No, I think that's it for now. So eventually the mind will stop. That is when the mind will now finally allow you to become calm. Then vigata bhihi, a mind that is free from fear. Everybody has fear of some sort. We have worldly fears, like, I wonder what the implication of the new president of the United States and the rules and the laws that he's making is going to have, what the impact of that is going to be on my business here in Guyana. Worry or not, people worry about that. Then people worry also, so that's all worldly kinds of things people will worry about, right? Then people will worry about things in spirituality, you know. I wonder if I go for all these 108 nights of Gita, or if I listen to all of them on Facebook, if, you know, I will stop wanting to go to work anymore. That's a scary thought now. Some people will say, I'm not ready to think of what will happen if there's more spirituality in my life. Or some people are afraid, you know, if I sit for meditation, as soon as I sit, I saw there was like 3 big mosquitoes in the room. They're all going to come and start to bite me. Fears can be literally anything. They can be from the outside, they can be from the inside. There can be a fear of what will happen if I don't come out of this meditation. There could be a fear of, well, the unknown is always scary, right? Then fear of the future. So many fears could come. Bhagavan Sri Krishna is saying we have to put all of those fears aside when we sit for meditation. So now, those are hard things to do, isn't it? To make our mind calm, to not be afraid. But if we have done the karma yoga that he said properly, if we've practiced karma sannyasa, if we have the confidence that is required and we're ready to put the self-effort in, then it is possible to do. Now Bhagavan says, Brahmachari vrate stitaha, someone who is well established in the vow of brahmacharya. Means, brahmachari, everyone knows what brahmachari means. It's loosely translated as celibacy, right? Or brahmachari is loosely translated also as a student. Well, you might say, I am not a brahmachari. There's only one brahmachari in this mandir today. That is our brahmachari Dvijot, right? So only he should meditate. The rest of us can't. What this means is not an outer brahmacharya vow, but an inner one. And this is not easy also, because what we do at this time is we say, a brahmachari is one who only wants to revel in Brahman, means who only wants to revel in the self, who only wants to revel in the happiness that is inside. And to do this, when we sit in meditation, we have to sit in such a way that we feel, this is my only identity. The only person that I am right now is a person who wants to revel in the happiness that is inside. That means I am not a mother, I am not a father, I am not a child, I am not a worker, I am not a citizen, I am nobody, I am nothing except the fact that I am a brahmachari, one who wants to revel in the happiness that is inside, in this seat of meditation for these few moments. And if a thought comes, oh, you know, I'm supposed to pack food for my children, you remind yourself, in meditation, who am I? I am a brahmachari. I am one who is only reveling in the happiness of the self, or seeking it. Now someone might say, well, that doesn't sound like me, you know. I cannot imagine my life without my relationships. Well, it's not forever, first of all, right? And the second thing is, actually, if someone does this, it blesses the entire family. I'll show you how. There is a rule that you can only give what you have. If you come and you ask me for guava, well, I can't give you guava because I don't have any. Right? I have to have it before I can give it. Now, what are you trying to give to your family? happiness. Correct or wrong? At the end of the day, that is what everyone is trying to give to their family. Happiness. Can you give happiness if you don't have it? Well, if you know the secret of that, please come and tell me, and we will do something about that. But you cannot give something that you don't have. So, right now, you have enough happiness? Well, from the faces that I'm seeing, I don't think so. We don't have the amount of happiness that we want. How will we give it to somebody else? So in meditation, where we have the opportunity to find that, we're like, no, but I'm not ready to do what it takes to get that happiness that I want to give to other people. So it is not a bad thing to say, okay, I'm going to take the time for myself to meditate, because really speaking, what you do, it blesses everybody after that. It is not a selfish thing. You see? Okay. That. Now Bhagavan says, Mana samyamya means controlling the mind. Now there are so many different ways we're talking about controlling the mind. There are so many preparations that we will have to do all day. Then preparations we do just before meditation. Preparation when we sit for meditation, like japa. Japa is one of the fantastic ways in which we control the mind. But now here you are, in the moment, and your mind is not being controlled, and you're trying to meditate. What to do? It's too late to do the preparations of the day. It's too late to do japa. It's too late to do anything. Now I'm sitting in meditation and my mind is wandering and I need to control it. Our Swami Tejobayananda has given a most wonderful thing that we can do at this point. I think it's really wonderful. He says, at this point, the best thing to do is to invoke the grace of your Guru and to invoke the grace and blessings of Bhagavan. And you say to them in your mind, I want to meditate, I want to discover your true nature, I want to get this great goal, but this mind is coming in my way. So you please help me now, Bhagavan. You please help me, my dear Guru, to deal with this. Let me find the courage and strength to deal with this mind so that I can sit here and I can achieve my goal. We invoke grace when there's nothing else that we can do once we have sat to meditate. Right? Then, matchittaha. Now we finally controlled our mind in some way, shape or form. We've gotten grace. We're holding on now to this mind. If you don't give the mind something to do, it's going to just go away again. So Bhagavan says, with the mind fixed on me, Lord Krishna, means on the Lord. We fix our mind now, once we sit in meditation, on Bhagavan. That means we must have love for Bhagavan when we are doing meditation. Because the mind naturally goes to whatever it loves. You leave your mind and it will end up thinking about the thing that it loves the most. So when there's love for Bhagavan, the mind will happily, effortlessly go there. And, okay, say you don't like the word Bhagavan, then you put the word divinity. This whole chapter 7 to 12 coming up is going to talk about this. So for now, whatever the word Bhagavan or divinity means in your mind, you hold on to that meaning. And you try to put your mind on that Bhagavan, that divinity. Then he says, Yukta asita matparaha. Oh, there's one more word he says, matparaha. Matparaha means that person considers me as their supreme goal. You can have love for someone, but you need not value and respect them. Have you seen? Yeah, you must have someone in your life that you love but you don't respect. I'm seeing some smiles, so I think that I'm telling a true thing. We all have people in our life that we love but we don't necessarily respect certain things that they do. Then there will also be people in our life that we value and we respect, but we may not necessarily love them. So many people, I respect teachers and I respect all kinds of people. I don't love them. So, Bhagavan is saying we should have love for him and we should have such respect and value that he is the greatest thing in our mind. So there's both love and respect. When both of these are there, then the mind can be fixed effortlessly. So these two things, mat chittaha, mat paraha, consider Bhagavan as the greatest and have great love for him, that will help our mind to stay there. Yukta asita. This is how that integrated yogi who has brought his whole personality together should sit in meditation. Okay. Now, like this, what should he do? Let us chant and then we will continue to see. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
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 Yunjannevam sadatmanam yogi niyatamanasah.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shantim nirvana paramam matsamsthamadhigacchati.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Yunjan evam sadatmanam. Like this, absorbing or concentrating the mind on the self, inside. Sada, constantly. Means consistently, means regularly. Yesterday we were talking about how if you want the results of exercise, you have to do it every day, not once every 2 months, right? Consistently and regularly. Our problem, and it has to be done for a long time, huh? Our problem is, well, we live in a world of instant gratification. We live in a fast food world right now. So we want spirituality to also be like fast food. I press a button and I get the result right away. And if it doesn't work in one day, well, it doesn't work. You know, we have like zero patience nowadays. If your phone freezes for 2 seconds, your child will say, Dad, I think you need a new phone. Mom, I think you need a new phone. 2 seconds. Hell, back in the day, I'm saying back in the day like it was a long time ago, but just some years ago, it took like 1 or 2 minutes for something to open. And now if it doesn't open in 2 seconds, we're like, no, something is wrong with it. Please take it away and get something new. We've come to a state where we want everything to happen so quickly that like it happened yesterday. Before I think it's happened already. You know? Before, I mean in North America, in America, Amazon used to deliver in 2 days. Then people were like, no, I can't wait 2 days. So then Amazon started to deliver. You can pay now and then Amazon will deliver in 1 day. Then people were like, no, 1 day is also too long. So then what happened? Amazon said, well, okay, you pay a little bit more and I'll bring it tonight. Then you're like, no, I want it right now. Well, Amazon's trying to figure out how to do that. Right? But you could literally order something and get it in 2 hours in some parts of the world. How? You can't even go to the... Forget... Just now we were in India, in Bharat. They have an app called Blinkit. If you order something on Blinkit, it will reach you in 8 minutes or less. My nephew woke up in the morning and didn't have toothpaste in his bathroom. And he didn't feel like going to go and find it in the storage room. So he took his phone and he ordered toothpaste on Blinkit. And in 6 minutes he was brushing his teeth. True story. This is what our world has come to. So now you take that kind of mind which is looking for that kind of pace and you put it to meditate. And this mind which has not sat quiet for years and years and years and lifetimes and lifetimes and lifetimes, all going outside everywhere, and all of a sudden you wanted to sit and be able to perfectly meditate? Bhagavan says, hello, you have to sit down and you have to do it for a long time before it's going to work. It's going to come again, but we have to be ready to do this over a long period of time. Then, he says, where did it go? This yogi, niyata manasaha, with a mind that is totally controlled, meaning that has no distractions anymore. Shantim nirvana paramam mat samstham adhigacchati. We're always asking, well, what am I going to get after all this effort? Bhagavan says he's going to reach that state, that supreme shanti, supreme peace, which is my own nature, which is called nirvana or moksha. That is what he's going to reach. And that is not a peace that is induced by anything. Right now, the peace that we get, we say, well, if my son or daughter passes CXC, well, I will be peaceful then. If they get into a good university, well, I will be peaceful then. Our peace is dependent on other people doing certain things right now. Well, this peace is different because it is not dependent on anybody else except for finding it inside. Now, suddenly Bhagavan went from how to sit and control your mind to you reach that state. And you're like, Bhagavan, but I'm not able to control my mind perfectly. How do I reach there? How did you reach there? Did I miss something? Did we skip a verse? Like, what's going on? And so now what happens is Bhagavan backs up a little bit. And he talks about adjustments that have to be made outside of the seat of meditation. So when we come, we can actually do these things. Now, if you came here to listen to satsang, to think about things, to tell other people about how to make their life better, then you are going to love these 2 verses. In fact, you're going to wish those people were here. But if you're listening to satsang for yourself, you're going to wish you didn't come. Maybe. Means Bhagavan is going to say certain things about our lifestyle that some of us may not want to hear, but it is the thing that is going to change our life. So let us chant now verses 16 and 17. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
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 योगोऽस्ति न चैकान्तमनश्नतः।
श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम, श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम।
न चाति स्वप्नशीलस्य जाग्रतो नैव चार्जुन।
श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम, श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम।
युक्ताहारविहारस्य युक्तचेष्टस्य कर्मसु।
श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम, श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम।
युक्तस्वप्नवबोधस्य योगो भवति दुःखः।
श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम, श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम।
श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम, श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम।
श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम, श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम, श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम।
Who cannot meditate? Or what makes meditation hard? Has anyone here... Okay, let me back up. Who over here thinks meditation is hard? Raise your hand. There's only two options, huh? So maybe I should tell you both, then you can choose. Who thinks meditation is easy? Raise your hand. Who thinks meditation is hard? Raise your hand. It's so hard you can't even raise your hand? What's going on? Okay, well, when you hear this list, you can decide, right? Bhagavan says what makes meditation hard. Na yogaha asti. Meditation is not possible, or it is difficult for a person who does these things. What are they? Number one, ati ashnataha. Someone who eats too much. Meditation is not possible for someone who eats too much. Means eats more than that what is required. You know the test to find out if you've eaten too much? After you've eaten, if you say, man, I'm feeling sleepy, that is how you know you have eaten too much. Because what happens is, well, two things happen. One is, you know the food that we ate, actually it came from the ground, from the earth, right? So now you've put that food in your body, and that food is like, well, I want to go back to the ground. So it pulls you down. Actually, what happens when we eat too much, all the energy of our body goes into digesting that food. Right? Now, you'll hear people also who have to drive a long distance, and then you'll tell them, eat a little bit more before you go, and they're like, no, I'm driving, I have to be alert. Because if you eat too much, you get tired. Then, before a long time, people used to sit on the floor and eat. So your stomach is kind of held in a certain way where there's no space to eat more if you're sitting on the floor. But nowadays, we sit on the couch. There's plenty space in the stomach, more space for us to eat, right? When you have to stop eating is when you think in your mind, I could eat some more, That is when you know it is time to stop. One man, he didn't know this. So he went to satsang and he ate so much food that he couldn't breathe. He was so full. He needed some help to get some relief, so he went by the doctor. There's a doctor right around, right? And he said, I ate too much. And so the doctor said, okay, and he made a concoction of something. The glass that they give sweet rice in? Like those kind of little, like that. He gave him a concoction in one of those little cups. And that man looked at him and he said, "Doctor, if there was this much space in my body, you think I wouldn't have finished eating the sweet rice?" Means he ate so much he didn't have enough space to drink this much remaining. Well, how will someone like that meditate? Not possible, Bhagavan says. Right? And you see, in today's day and age, our mind is so preoccupied with food. Correct or wrong? Whole day everybody is thinking of food. And the proof of this is that the food industry has grown so much compared to before. Because everyone is always thinking about food. Man, when you have youngsters come for a camp, a spiritual camp, and at the end of the camp we give them a feedback form, to comment on how it was. The organizers put in so much effort to organize activities, and there's satsang, and there's all kinds of things, and majority of the feedback is on the food. What did they come for? And what did they give feedback on? Majority of feedback is on the food. Right? So what happens when we eat too much is, first there's the discomfort of hunger, when you're hungry, right? Then you go and eat. And instead of the discomfort going away, it is now replaced with the discomfort of overeating. That is the life we live a lot of the time. So Bhagavan says someone who eats too much, it is very hard for them to meditate. Or nacha ekantam anashnataha. Or for somebody who doesn't eat enough. There's people on the other extreme. Because they don't have energy to do anything. Then they get hunger pangs. And then they get hangry. You heard? People get hangry. Because when you don't eat, it agitates your mind also. So then when you sit for meditation and you haven't eaten in like 2 days, I don't know about you guys, when you close your eyes, do you see like little specks? Sometimes like little dots? Well, those specks of light will start to look like cassava balls in your eyes if you haven't eaten. Instead of meditating and trying to control your mind is watching cassava balls go by. Right? Actually, for someone who doesn't eat properly, it leads to all kinds of health problems later on also. When you're young, you feel invincible. Sometimes you don't eat for 2 days and 3 days, and you're like, yeah, nothing will happen. It will happen in 10 years, right? So Bhagavan says, someone who doesn't eat enough, they also cannot meditate easily. Then, nacha ati swapna shilasya. Somebody who sleeps too much cannot meditate. Well, I see people watching other people. If my mom was here, she would be watching me. Because when I was growing up, my nickname was Kumbhakaran. You know who's Kumbhakaran? Kumbhakaran is Ravana's brother, but that's not why. Huh? I hope that's not why. I was called Kumbhakaran because I used to love to sleep. Right? But Bhagavan is saying someone who sleeps too much, they cannot meditate. Because a lazy body leads to a lazy mind. Right? One man went to work and he said, "Boss, sorry I'm late. I slept extra." And his boss said, "What? You sleep at home too?" Means whole day he's sleeping at work. And he said, no, boss, what are you talking about? Of course, I wake up as soon as the sun comes in my window. The boss said, really? You wake up so early? Wait, let me call your wife and check. So he made the man call his wife and he speaks to her. And he said, look, your husband is saying that he wakes up as soon as the sun comes in his window. Is that true? She said, yes, it is very true. But his window is facing the west. Some people just like to sleep, And then there are others who like to wake. So Bhagavan says, Jagrato na eva. Neither someone who is awake too long. You go mad actually if you don't sleep enough, Even in nature, the trees and the plants go to sleep. I don't know now, but a long time ago, you would hear grandparents telling you, don't pick that tulsi now, the plant is sleeping. Don't pick the flower now. The plant is resting. It is a true thing. Even nature takes a rest when the sun goes down. We're supposed to follow the sun. The sun is the source of energy. When the sun has gone down, we're also supposed to take rest. Right? And when we are tired, we must learn to take rest. Nobody is going to give you rest. You have to take it for yourself. So Bhagavan says, for someone who doesn't sleep enough, who's awake too long, meditation is hard. Because the body is going to take the sleep that it needs. So as soon as you sit in meditation, well, you will think you're meditating, but actually, you're fast asleep. And you won't know, but everyone else will know because you're snoring nicely in meditation. Right? O Arjuna, someone who lives like this, it is not easy for them to meditate. So then, what is the solution? In the next verse, one word comes over and over and over again. And that word is yukta. Yukta means moderate, balanced. That is actually the solution. Yogo bhavati dukkha. This meditation becomes a destroyer of sorrow or a giver of peace to a person who is yukta, who is moderate in a whole list of things that he gives, right? Moderation means like this. Look, we have a dolak here. If you tie the strings of the dolak too tight, what will happen? Huh? And you keep tightening, what will happen? It will break, isn't it? You tighten an instrument too much, it will break. And if you make it too loose, what will happen? Well, you wouldn't get sound. So that instrument has to be tuned to be not too loose, not too tight, it has to be just right. That balance is what Bhagavan is talking about when he uses the word yukta. So now he's saying we have to be moderate in everything, but he gives the top things that usually affect us in our life. So let us see. First one, what do you think? What do you think the first thing is going to be? Moderate in food. Aha, some people guessed it. Okay. What does moderation in food look like? It means our quantity and our frequency of food have to be regulated. Do you know in our tradition, food is considered medicine? Food is medicine is a phrase in our Shastra. Now, when you go to get medicine, who is allowed to give you the medicine? The doctor. It is prescribed to you. The doctor has to tell you how much to take, when to take, and what to take. It is the exact same thing with food. Can you go by the doctor and say, no doc, but I don't feel like taking this medicine. Give me this other one, nah? You will die if you take the wrong medicine. Or if you forgot to take your medicine for 1 week. Can you say, oh no, I forgot, I'm going to take all 7 days of medicine today. Or I won't have time to take my medicine later today, so let me take all of it now. You can't do that. Medicine is given and it's supposed to be given at the right time in the right quantity and all. So now you apply this to food. What is the correct quantity of food we are supposed to eat? You all know? If you take your belly and imagine it to be a circle, how much food has to fill your belly for it to be considered the right amount of food? I see laughs, but I don't hear answers. Brace yourselves, huh? Half of our belly has to be filled with food. Quarter of our belly has to be filled with liquid. And quarter of our belly has to be left with air. You know when you're cooking and you've put all your vegetables in the pot, then you put water to make the curry? Well, if that pot is filled to the top, there's no way you can turn it. So in our belly also, if there's no space, that food cannot digest easily. So half food, quarter liquid, and quarter air. Now someone will say, well, I don't know what half belly full looks like for me. Anyone have that question? Okay, here's an experiment. to figure out, this is a once in a lifetime experiment, huh? Don't go and do it every day. One day when you're ready to try this experiment, you go and find a satsang where they have 7 or 8 or 10 curry. Okay? And you take the biggest 2 leaves you can find. And you go and you stand in the line. And you know when the auntie scoops the rice? Don't look at the rice. You look at her and you smile. You let her put whatever she wants in your big leaf. Then you go to the next auntie and you let them put whatever dal they want. Then you go to the next auntie and let them put whatever pumpkin they want. And like this you go on and on and on. And don't forget the sweet rice. And don't forget the clap roti. Now with everything, you go and you sit. And you take a picture of this puran leaf before you start to eat. You have to take a picture in this experiment. Now you eat. And you keep eating until you feel like your belly is going to burst. At that time you stop. And you take a picture of the food that is remaining. Then you do a little bit of mathematics. So you see picture 1 and you see picture 2. And you put a minus in between the 2. So the food that I started with minus the food that is remaining, that is my full belly. So then what is half belly? All that divided by 2. So the next time you want to know, what does my half belly look like? Well, you remember the amount of food that you had to eat at that time. Then if you still say, but you know, I still don't know. Well, then next time you go and you measure that amount of half belly and you eat it and you're like, oh, this is what it feels like. Then you remember that feeling for everything else that you eat. This is a jokey thing, but really if you want to try, you can try it. Like I said, one-time experiment, huh? Okay, so this is the instruction for quantity. Then we're supposed to eat sattvic food that is not going to agitate our mind. We'll see that more when we get to chapter 17. And frequency. There's a saying in our there's a phrase in our tradition. If you eat once, you are considered a yogi. If you eat twice, you are considered a bhogi. Bhogi is someone who likes to really enjoy and indulge. If you eat 3 times, you know what you're considered? Rogi. You know what rogi means? Someone who's sick. Actually, we're not supposed to go on eating all day. Eating all day is a new thing that has been introduced. Do you know when someone sits there with their books to study or with their project at work to do, and then they have their coffee, and then they have their granola bar or their parsad from last night or whatever it is. You know, they've set up their snack and their drink and everything. And then they sit to work and their brain is ready to work. They put that parsad in the mouth and that is like a message going to the brain saying, hey, stop work, start to digest this food. All brain power gone. Because we have 2 brains. The one up here and the one in our belly. So you can only do one thing at a time. You can either think or you can digest. Actually, that is, science is saying that also, right? We're not supposed to eat while we study and while we work and all of that kind of thing. So anyways, why will I do all of this? Because I want to meditate. Well, you have to really want to meditate to eat yukta, isn't it? Okay. Then he says, yukta viharasya. Someone who is in their physical movement, they're moderate. Means they don't go and do excessive exercise. Have you seen some people, they just whole day in the gym, whole day working out, whole day moving and running, and where will there be energy for meditation? Right? Then there's other people, they're the opposite. Well, they're couch potato. You've heard? I was thinking in Guyana they have to be called a hammock aloo. Isn't it? That's the word for couch potato in Guyana. Anyways, so moderate in our physical activity. Or the other meaning of this is whatever recreation we engage ourselves in, we should be moderate. Not whole day playing games on the phone, whole day playing video games, whole day playing all these. Moderation in all of our activity. Right? Then, yukta cheshtasya karmasu. Means we have to be regulated during every single activity of our life. You know, for every action, a certain amount of effort is required. For example, to pick up this thing, there's a certain amount of effort required. Correct? Now, I could pick this up so easily like that, or I could go and put all my energy into picking it up. Well, that's a waste of energy. If you have 2 cars, and one car to go from here to there, it takes like $200 of gas. And the other car to go from here to there, same place, it takes $500 of gas. Well, you will say the first one is more efficient, isn't it? The thing that can use the least amount of energy to do what it needs to do, you use that. So in the same way, when we are doing anything, it could be something as simple as opening a door. It could be the amount of... You know, one man walked into a restaurant. Sorry, he didn't walk into a restaurant. He stormed into a restaurant. And as he was going in, there was a downstairs door and there was an upstairs door. So he kicked open the downstairs door and he marched upstairs. And then he kicked open the upstairs door and he marched inside. And then he stormed to the front and he said, "Waiter, where is the washroom?" So the waiter said, "You know, if you go down this hall, first you'll pass the ladies' washroom. You'll see a sign, ladies. You keep going. Then you'll reach a next door. It says gentlemen. You ignore the gentle part and you kick it and you go." If you don't need to put so much energy to open the door, why will you put so much energy? Put the amount of energy that is required. That is yukta cheshtasya karmasu. It is not only for physical things, it is mental things as well. Sometimes you will receive a text message from somebody. That text message requires you to send a yes or no response. But you will sit there and you will think about it, and you will think about it, and you will draft a response, then you will delete it, then you will draft another response, then you will delete it, then you will draft another, and you're thinking, and you're thinking, and you're thinking. You're so much energy to respond to something. That same thing happens with emails, you know. Someone at work gets an email, and they could lose a whole day trying to respond to that email. But we have to know how much work to put in for the things that come our way, right? We shouldn't be workaholics and all of that. Okay. Or like right now, there's a mic in front of me. I could choose to pretend the mic is not there and I could shout for the whole satsang, and then what will happen? My voice will pain at the end. He will just turn the mic down and I'll be the one who suffers. Right? So, yukta cheshtasya karmasu. We should know how much energy we expend. Then, yukta swapna avabodhasya. Then we have to be moderate in our sleep and in our waking. Now, this means to sleep and wake up at the right time also. That means when it gets dark, it is time to sleep. I see a whole gang of people smiling over here because... right? But science is actually showing how, and my doctor also was telling, there's a certain window between like 10 p.m. and 12 a.m. where if you don't sleep, certain functions of the body don't happen and certain toxins don't get removed from your body. If you don't sleep between 10 p.m. and midnight. In that window, you have to be asleep. How many people are asleep at that time nowadays? Well, I'm not talking to the aunties and the uncles. I'm talking to the next generation. Right? Yeah, because of this wonderful thing called electricity, there is no such thing as time to wind down. So nobody sleeps. Or if they sleep late, and then they wake late, and then the whole thing is mashed up. I don't know if you all had this phrase here. Early to bed makes you... I heard healthy, happy, and wise. That's the one I heard growing up, right? Okay. So, really speaking, that is the secret. And you know, the test of this is who had mastered... See, yoga bhavati dukkha. Whose life was more peaceful? Our grandparents who followed this kind of moderate living, or us with all the wonderful things that we have in today's day and age? Whose life was more peaceful? Well, the people who lived just 30, 40 years ago, who followed these simple things of moderate eating, moderate sleeping, moderate activity, they had more peace than we could get all of us put together. Just by following simple, basic things. So Bhagavan is not telling us some dramatic thing to do. He's telling us to just go back to the way our grandparents lived, really. Isn't it? So, simple things are the things that make the biggest difference when we sit in meditation. Yukta, being yukta, and one who has mastered this will master their mind. And one who has mastered their mind will master their life. So really, if we want to master our life, the whole thing boils down to what I'm eating, when I'm eating it, when I'm sleeping, when I'm waking, how much work I'm doing, how much video games I'm playing, how much I'm scrolling on my phone, how much time I spend on WhatsApp. All of those things will determine how successful I am in life. How simple. And then people ask, but Gita is not practical. This is not practical? How much more practical can you get than this, really speaking? Right? So these are some wonderful verses in Bhagavad Gita that teach us how to prepare our mind so that when we sit in meditation, effortlessly our mind is controlled. Why? So that we can be... The result of meditation is happiness and peace. That is why we are doing all of this. Now, I was supposed to do one more verse, but my time is finished, so it has to wait for tomorrow. But at least we did these ones properly, so yeah. I'll pause now. I'll share a couple of announcements, and then we will do Aarti and closing. Thank you very much to the Edward Mandir for having us here. Thank you to Auntie Dato and to Anandji and to all the members over here for organizing. We know how much work goes into hosting a satsang, and we know how much effort everyone would have had to do to come together. Thank you to our drummer and musicians and everyone. And it's been wonderful being here with all of you. Tomorrow, tonight is the last night in West Berbice. Right? We've been here for quite a few days. Tomorrow we will be in Farm. I don't know how to pronounce this. Herstelling. We will be in Farm Herstelling Vishnu Mandir, which is all the way on the east bank, not the farm here, the other farm. 7:15 to 8:45. If you can't come and you want to hear what else Bhagavan Sri Krishna has to say about meditation, then tune in on Facebook. We will go live as usual. But from Thursday, we will be back to your side. We will be in East Berbice for like almost 3 weeks from Thursday onwards. So if you want, just check where all will be and see if you can come. It will be wonderful to see your smiling faces again. Okay. The Chinmaya Mission ashram is in Monrepos. And on Saturday, 8th of March, we will be having a fundraiser. Swami Prakashanandaji will be making something called pizzoti. You all know what pizzoti is? No, I'll tell you. Pizzoti is what you get when you take a pizza. You know what pizza is? Yeah. And a pepperoni. You all know what pepperoni is? Yeah? Pepper roti is a Trini huge roti that they used to make and stuff with all the pepper that remains. So they take all the vegetables and all the pepper and they stuff into this super huge delicious roti and everyone gets a little piece. Well, Swamiji took the pepper roti and he joined it with a pizza. And then you get a pizzoti. Well, it's not like you could put a pizza on top of a pepper roti and get the taste. You have to taste the pizzoti itself. So please come to the ashram and enjoy pizzoti and support the ashram at the same time. It takes an hour and a half from here if there is no traffic. Or what you all could do is, you could everyone put your names in a hat and pull one name and that person has to go and bring for everybody. On Saturday, 3rd of May, we will be having the grand finale of this 108th night Bhagavad Gita Yajna at the Gandhi Youth Cricket Ground. Please see if you all can make a bus and come down. It will be so wonderful to celebrate this momentous occasion together. It will be 5 to 6:30 in the evening, so all market and all those things of the day will be done, so you can get in a bus and come down together. Then July 14th to August 1st in the summer, we will be having a 3-week Bhagavad Gita camp for children. So over here we're going through the verses and we're talking to adults and we're thinking through these things. But the same knowledge of Bhagavad Gita is presented for children in a fun way with games and activities and stories, and they get to hang out together and eat fun food and all of that. So if there is enough interest, we could organize a bus to bring children from West Berbice to the ashram every day for the camp and bring them back also. Right? You just let us know, speak to each other and see if there's interest, and we will make it happen because we want them to enjoy, and we'll get some sponsorships to make that bus happen and everything. Okay, now, Chinmaya Mission offers a 2-year Vedanta course. This Vedanta course is an opportunity for people who are unmarried, who are under 30, and who have a degree, and who want to study this Sanatana Dharma systematically and in detail and properly in the original Sanskrit that it was given. They have an opportunity to do so in this 2-year course that is offered. This year, we're very lucky, it will be offered here itself in Trinidad, just around the corner. And it starts October 2nd, and Swami Prakashananda will be taking that course. It is the most transformational 2 years you could ever have in your life. So if you know anybody who may be interested in studying this kind of thing for themselves, or to come and serve society in this way, to share our Sanatana Dharma, to help other people with our knowledge, please do let them know that this is happening so that they can benefit from it. There are so many people who want this knowledge, but they don't know it's available, So if you know anyone who has that bent or inclination, let them know. And if you're over 30, or you don't, or you're married, or you don't have a degree, or whatever, if you don't meet the qualifications, or you don't want to give up 2 years of your life to go and study this systematically, and you still want to do everything you're doing, and no problem, you can still study. Chinmaya Mission offers classes for all ages. We'll be having classes here in Guyana in person and online. You can check our Facebook page for the information. You can speak to us and we'll be happy to tell you all the things that are going on. We will be starting classes for as young as 1.5-year-olds. What do you teach a 1.5-year-old? Actually, that is the age where they are like sponges. So they come with their parents and we have a little class for them, and it is such a wonderful transformational experience you wouldn't believe. Like that, for every age, there's a special class that happens, and like that we teach all the different scriptures, Sanskrit, Hindi, everything. So please see if this is of your interest and join whatever you would like. I think that is it. We'll do Aarti and then I will pass back to Panditji. Oh, yes. When you go downstairs, before you eat, please stop by the bookstore. The bookstore has publications of every kind, for every type of interest and every age. I have not found someone who has gone to the bookstore and not found something that is of interest to them. This bookstore, the books are published, they're written by sevaks and swamis and brahmacharis of Chinmaya Mission, so the authors don't get money. The books are published with the help of sponsorships. Then they are shipped across the world to whoever wants, and we order them and we get them here, and then we sell them over here. Really, the books are being sold almost at cost, and the whole purpose is to make this knowledge available to anybody who would like to avail of it. So I'll give you examples. Some books are so tiny, you can read them and by the time you reach home, instead of scrolling your phone tonight, you could finish this before you sleep. Shri Krishna Charita. Why serve? Little books like that are there. Then there's books for children with lots of pictures and descriptions, and they can stare at the pictures while you read to them. Then there's this book called Lulu, the Elements and Me. I think this is a super book. It describes how children can connect with the 5 elements, how to be more connected with nature, different practices that they can do and you can do with them. And then, of course, the most amazing commentary on Bhagavad Gita by Swami Chinmayananda is also available there in the bookstore, along with many, many more books. So please do take a look and see what you like, and you can give gifts to other people also. If you go and you give them, first of all, to buy something for them, you have to go to the store and look for it and think if they'll like it or not, and then they'll play with it for 2 days, and then something else will come and they'll forget it. But books will stay with them almost forever, actually. Okay, let's stand for Aarti. Jai Bhagavad Gita Maya, Jai Bhagavad Gita, Hariya Kamala Viharini, Hariya Kamala Viharini, Sundara Supuniti, Om Jai Mangalam Bhagavan Vishnu Mangalam Garudadvajaha Mangalam Pundarikaksham Mangalayatano Harihi Tvameva Mata Cha Pita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakha Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Travinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. बोलिए वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय, श्री सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय, श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। हर हर नमः पार्वती पतये, हर हर महादेव। हरि ओम।